Hey everyone, it's Mike Andes, and you're listening to the Business Bootcamp podcast. Today, I'm going to be sharing all the financial statements, the income, and the profit and loss statements from all my businesses. I'm going to use a different format today. I'm going to actually show you a breakdown on an Excel spreadsheet. So if you like it, please give a thumbs up today. Before we get into today's sponsor, or today's show, though, a big shout out to our sponsor, which is Gusto. If you haven't already, go to gusto.com/bootcamp. Try out their software completely free for 90 days. You can do all of your benefits and paying your employees through direct deposit directly from there. Use it free completely for a quarter, and I promise you, you will not be disappointed. Go to gusto.com/bootcamp. All right, so I have done a lot of live videos, and this one's live, and there's going to be people hopping on here right now. That has been about lawn care and landscaping. This one's going to be about all my other businesses and showing some financial statements and all the rest of it. So I wanted to do it live so that way I can answer some questions and answer some things that perhaps you've had questions about that aren't directly related to landscaping or lawn care, but maybe more about like financial side of things, how I calculate numbers. I'm going to show stocks and real estate and stuff like that too today. So a bit of a longer show, but I think it's going to be really useful, and I hope that it is good for all of you. If you haven't watched the months prior, please do so. I do this every single month. I share my financial numbers. I've done it for about 6 months, and I started at the end of last year because I knew as I go into the winter, our worst months financially are during the winter because I have a franchise that is seasonal. I have Augusta Lawn Care, and I have corporate locations that are seasonal. The gym is somewhat seasonal. So there's a lot of seasonality, and I want to show the good, the bad, the ugly, when we have good months, when we have bad months. And you're going to see today that there's sometimes you lose money. We're in the growth. We're growing very quickly, and there's a lot of investments that are long-term, and you're going to see that there's months you don't make money hand over fist. And so I want to make these months, these kind of videos for these type of months, because there's going to be months this coming summer where people are like, oh, you made like all this money and like you're so unrelatable and blah, blah, blah. Okay, I will simply link you back to this type of a month when there's a mixed bag, when you got losses, when you're investing in the businesses for the long term, and it's just not always easy. It's not always easy. It's not like there's always money flowing, especially in a seasonal business where you're going to have, for us, like the winter is a little bit more difficult financially. So I'm going to jump into it today, show you the numbers, but if you haven't watched previous months and you're new to the channel, please watch the other months. I don't do this to like boast or gloat or be proud. I do this because I wish I had this when I was 17, 18 years old, really trying to take my business seriously, really trying to grow my lawn care company, and no one was showing their numbers. They'd show their equipment, they'd show their trucks, but they'd never show their numbers. And I wanted something to benchmark myself against besides just a magazine that had like charts and graphs of different surveys. Like I wanted somebody that could track them, like, okay, they were here at this month and this month. Okay, they lost money. Like, it's okay. I'm not going to die. Like, that's what I wanted. And so I'm doing it for that person, and I'm doing it so that way in 5 or 10 years, we can look back and actually see the whole story from a financial picture, not just, hey, like I gave better tips and I improved my audio and I improved my video set. Like I want it to be where you can see the financial picture of the business throughout. So let's go ahead and jump into it. All the businesses we're going to go through today. I'm going to go ahead and share this screen here. I hope this works okay. I'm going to share this Excel spreadsheet that I made, kind of breaking down the different businesses, the revenues and the profits for each. I'm going to go ahead and make it a little bit bigger here. I should be off to the side. I'm going to go ahead and take away this. Sorry, there we go. And go ahead and walk through this one business at a time. So the first one is Augusta Lawn Care Corporation. This is the very first location that we started with Augusta Lawn Care in our local area. We started off in Blaine, now we're in Bellingham. And so we have one more year. Sorry, take that back. We have a year and a half left on this lease. By the end of this lease, we will be having moved to our new location, which we purchased land, and we're in the process of planning and getting permits and all the rest of it for building. But Augusta Lawn Care Corporation, the first location, it did $105,935 in revenue, and it was a negative profit of $7,962. This wrapped up quarter one, and for us, if we can just break even in quarter one at this location, we're happy because we're investing a lot. We bought like trucks and we bought ramp racks and equipment and organized a bunch of stuff. The rest of the month, I have no inclination as to why there should not be a reason why every single other month the rest of the year will be profitable. But quarter one, if we just can break even, we're very, very happy. To be able to spend as much as we did in marketing, to be able to spend as much as we did in new trucks, equipment, all ramp racks, got rid of all the trailers, and still be I think for the quarter one, we were like $3,000 in the profit. Very, very good. So again, though, hey, if you're running a lawn care business and you're really worried because you're losing money in January, February, because you have a slower season, I hope this encourages you that, like, that's part of the game, but try not to make it as deep, right? So quarter one, across those first 3 months, January, February, March, we were still profitable somewhat, just a little bit. Okay. So there's not massive profit sharing that's happening, because we do profit sharing at all our companies. But there was no big profit sharing this quarter, but I expect every single month, the rest of this rest of this year, to be between 20 and 30% profit. And so that was the local shop. Then we have Blaine Anytime Fitness. So this is the gym. They're really getting back on their feet. We had a breakout month, our best month ever for training services. We really had to pivot from selling gym memberships and 24/7 access to really focusing on the training experience, where we can train for $400 or $500 per month using training, instead of $40 or $50 per month for a gym membership. So we've really doubled down on that, since our membership has gone down about 25-30%. And I do think over the next year that will recover somewhat, but I do not think we'll see pre-pandemic numbers of members. But definitely we've doubled down, tripled down on our training. And so for the month of March, Blaine Anytime Fitness had a revenue of $46,020 and a profit of $7,991. Landscape Business Course. These are exactly off. My apologies. Here we go. I mixed this one second here. See, got to do this live. This is actually 4, and that I need to change this. Sorry. There we go. Boom. Okay. All right. So for Landscape Business Course, Business Bootcamp Podcast, all my personal stuff that I do. So this is everything to do with the podcast, landscapebusinesscourse.com, lawncarewebdesign.com, everything that I do, from selling the courses to selling consulting, etc. Total revenues for March 2021 was $29,173. And I apologize for that little mistake there I made. I did not carry my math correctly, but the profits for this business, for this side of the business, the online side, was $4,153. That was a big drop. Usually this is the profitable margin side of the business, but we have made a big investment in terms of hiring 3 people now for the media side. So we have a long form video editor, that's Danny. Then we have a digital creative and graphic designer, and that is Zach. And then we have Brady, who does short term like TikTok, stories, etc. So if you've been following my content, you realize recently we've done a lot more on other platforms, and we are only getting started. I think we just are starting to find our groove. Over the next few weeks, we're going to have some really cool stuff coming out. And yes, we will be starting a daily vlog. I've decided, and we're going to talk more about this later this week when I actually do my first daily vlog. And that is, I have hundreds and hundreds of tips about things in business, and you can search like just about anything to do with lawn care and landscaping and get a tip from a business standpoint for myself. What we haven't done is shown a lot of the behind the scenes, a lot of the intricacies of running the businesses, because it's more like tips, and that's like it's its own little box, and that's easy to make. Now we're going to try to get more creative and actually show more of my whole life, and inside of that day, as I'm recording, being able to show things like team meetings, be able to show, my frustrations when I'm on a call with a dealer or something like that. So I think it's gonna be really, really good. We'll have more details on that. It's a little bit out of my comfort zone, but I think it's gonna be really valuable to the audience, and parlay with these numbers that I share on a monthly basis, so you can actually see every single day as I'm living and running the businesses and operating, and then it'll perfectly correlate with like, oh yeah, I remember they were signing on that deal, and so that's why we had a big expense on that month on that certain side of the business. So in the franchise, and quick way, I always got to say this every single month. This is you guys, landscapebusinesscourse.com, lawncarewebdesign.com, where we build landscapers' websites. All of that is you guys supporting me, supporting what we're doing here. And that's why a big part of why I share these numbers is because you all are so much part of this. Having 3 people doing video and creating more content for this industry and for other landscapers is because of your support. And I really, really appreciate that. And that's why I try to have this transparency the way I do with my numbers. So Augusta Lawn Care, the franchise LLC, in the month of March, we had $41,207 in revenue, and we lost $21,992. Now, for some of you who have watched just the past few months, you're like, you're going to die. Like, you keep losing money on the franchise big time. Like, you're 33% in the red on the franchise. And that's true. Again, we at the franchise have, when we service a seasonal business, landscaping. What that means is the command center, we get really, really busy times 10 when we get into the spring rush. However, we have to prep for that. We have to get ready for that. We have to hire before that. We have to train, all the rest of it. And so expect the revenues to substantially go up from here over the next several months. I think, again, I've explained this before. The franchise over the course of 2021 will be probably about zero. It'll even out. It will not make a ton of money. It will not lose a bunch of money, but there's going to be months where it's really up and it's really down. So our highest month in revenue has been like 90 some odd thousand, and we've lost as much as I think like 50,000 or $100,000 in December. So it gets up and down and all the rest of it. It's part of a very fast growing company and developing software and thinking about what's going to be happening in 3 years from now, not what's happening right now in front of us, as well as the fact that we are growing Command Center substantially. We're already kind of bursting at the seams with our current office, and we're trying to just get through this year because we are building a new headquarters. And so that new headquarters is going to house the studio where I'm at right now. It's going to house Command Center. It's going to house our franchisee training. It's also going to house our local shop for the Bellingham location. So it's going to be a really, really cool facility. We've purchased land for that. And in the vlog, hopefully you can see that whole process unfold from, bare land to actually building the whole thing, furnishing it, and moving in. So that's going to be really fun too. So that's the franchise. Again, we've expected this loss. It is not going to be something that is like for the next 3 years. For those of you, I had one really mean email last month when I shared these numbers saying that I was basically posing with the franchise in order to sell courses and things like that, like looking like I was big so I could sell more courses and things like that. Let me be very clear. The course and all that is the fuel to the main game, which is Augusta Lawn Care and our franchise. And everything I'm doing is in support of that. Talk to me in 3 years. Talk to me in 3 years when we have a few hundred franchisees and these numbers are 6 and 7 figures in profits and not losses. So yes, over the course of the past year and a half that we've had the franchise, we have lost hundreds of thousands of dollars. That is expected. It is all part of the business plan, and I'm not surprised by that. Over the next several months, you're going to see this is going to stabilize and start becoming profitable, and then you're going to see it drop really hard again when we go back into investment mode because there's things I want to do that I'm just needing money for so we can support the franchisees more. So anyways, that's the franchise. Mount Vernon Augusta Lawn Care Services. This month, they did $34,614 in revenue. Let me be very clear. They did that with 2 trucks. For everyone out there that has 6 and 7 trucks and running around and making $20,000, $30,000 a month in revenue, let me be very clear. Augusta Lawn Care Mount Vernon did $34,600, and this is, by the way, like they will do the last 2 months of the year of this month. They did the last 2 weeks of March. They probably did about 20,000 of that. Their capacity in March would have been about 40,000, but they hired 3 new people in March. Again, 2 trucks. So they have 2 trucks now, 4 employees. Tim has done an amazing job. And this is the last month, unfortunately, that we're going to be able to share the numbers with Mount Vernon because it's going to be a franchise. So it's been corporately owned for the past year. After a year, the general managers are allowed to buy out their location and become a franchisee. Tim has decided to do that, and we have a set dollar amount that we charge their general managers. They know what that is from day one, and they make that decision after a year whether they want to buy, keep going as a general manager. It's really up to them. And so I'm very, very proud of him. The fact that last year, our best month was like 24,000, 25,000 revenue. And in March, he did 34. He's probably going to be up against 50 plus thousand per month in revenue next month and growing. His goal is to start a second location, another franchise next year using the general manager model. And I'm very much looking forward to that. So big shout out to him that he grew 4 employees over the course of March and was still profitable. So growing and still profitable. And I expect him to be about 40% profitable throughout the rest of the year. So big shout out to him. And I think he'll pay off what he had to pay for the business in the next 12 to 16 months. Could be sooner. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, but 12 to 16 months, he'd definitely pay off what he had to put into the business to buy it from going from a corporate location to a franchise. Augusta Lawn Care of Mooresville, North Carolina. Again, another corporately owned location. Massive growth. We just got started there. Chuck has been there for a couple of months. I talked about him on last month's update. He did about 21,000 in revenue. This is his second month in operation. He just got his 3rd truck in the past week. He just got some space to actually operate out of, and he lost $20,000. The thing is, that $20,000 is literally trucks, mowers, ramp racks, a storage bin for his new rental space. So very, very happy for him. He's in massive growth mode, and I believe after quarter 2 will be profitable. So how we do it with our general managers and when our franchisees have their second location and they have their own general managers, we always say, look, the first 2 quarters are not going to be profitable. We don't expect to be profitable. We're putting a lot of money into advertising, buying trucks, etc. So we bought 3 trucks in the past couple months. We bought, now have a storage facility and a space to have our container and all the rest of it. So that takes a lot of money. But what we try to do is after quarter 2 be profitable every single quarter thereafter. And so we really try to invest as much as we can now, so that way on a quarterly basis we can actually have profit sharing with our general managers. So that's the model we use for our corporately owned locations for general managers, and as the franchisees get their second, third, fourth locations, they use that same model in terms of profit sharing, getting a general manager. We believe very much in having the delineation between different locations, having a general manager in place that has profit sharing but makes all the decisions, comes and trains just like a regular franchisee owner. So the model has been working really good, and that ties into Dix Hills, New York. We also, why does it say NC? It's supposed to be NY. New York is where another one of our corporately owned location is, and Felix is just getting started up there. They had snow up until a couple of weeks ago, and so there is some revenues and profits, but I'm not going to even put it down because I think, honestly, I don't even know if we collected a whole lot in revenue. It was just basically buying the trucks, getting everything done. I think he has 3 or 4 employees that are literally starting next week. And it's been tough over there in the labor market. It's been very, very difficult. We have to raise our base pay on P4P in order to attract good talent that were actually legal and could be put on the payroll. And so we have to raise base pay. Really looking forward to the growth in this one. I believe it'll be right up against Mooresville, around 30 to 40,000 in monthly revenue in the coming month. So that's that. All right. Some of the things I haven't shared in the past, and that is the stocks and real estate side of what I do. So in stocks, the total change this month is $8,000. And what I mean by change is like the actual, quote unquote profit if I sold. I'm not selling though. So that's why I put change this month, because really I don't look a whole lot at how much the change, like how much I'm making in the stock market. I'm always looking at like what's my total investment into it. So the total change this month was about $8,000. On my last month, you heard me say I was really buying a lot into the market, and I was around 750,000 into the market. The bottom of the dip was about March 7th, March 8th. And so I continued to buy in, and since then it's recovered quite a bit substantially. And so now total invested in the market is $897,000. Margin is 150. So margin is basically like debt. It's 2.5%. I use Robinhood to do that. And I will be paying off all of my margin within the next probably 2 to 3 weeks, maybe 3 to 4 weeks. And just getting back to where I don't have any debt on the stocks. I only use margin when there's the big dips, and I really use it a lot to really buy my high conviction stocks, the ones that I feel are becoming very undervalued and are being oversold. And so I purchased quite a bit of different companies that I felt that way, and they've recovered. And I feel like throughout the next 3 weeks, I'll be able to pay off all that margin. And the goal is to have about $900 to $1 million in total invested without any margin. Again, I'm saving that money up for the massive purchase that we're going to be investing in the next couple of years, and that is our headquarters for Augusta Lawn Care. That total project is going to be about 1.7 to 1.8 million. That's what it's supposed to be on paper. You know how that goes. Probably going to be a lot more. So I'm definitely just using the stock market as kind of my piggy bank. I don't feel like I'm going to get to 1.8 million in the next 5 to 6 months, but I definitely can be a massive chunk towards that debt and that loan that we're getting a 504 SBA loan on for that building project. In terms of real estate, so we have 10 units, and we finally got out our nightmare tenants, the ones that we haven't been able to get out because of the eviction moratorium. And no, it's not because I'm a horrible person. I want to get rid of people because they don't pay me. No, it's because of the fact that they were damaging the unit. They were, in our opinion, abusing their children, and it ended up that they both went to jail. And then what happened is they abandoned it, and one of their friends came and moved in and was doing drug deals out of the house, and we had people coming in and out and all the rest of it. But because of COVID, the sheriff would not go in and evict them. So it's very, very frustrating the past few months. We were able to get them out, and we have remodeled that one and already moved new tenants in. And so we have another remodel that's about to get started. So really looking forward to that. The cash flow is low just because we had two. That one was being remodeled. We had another one that we were remodeling. So again, the real estate is a long-term game. This is kind of like my private nest egg. Everything I have in terms of dollars and cents goes into the businesses. The real estate is like kind of like my nest egg, the thing that I protect and kind of is my long-term personal wealth. And so From a cash flow standpoint, I don't need the money because I live pretty frugally and pretty small. I don't need cash flow. So we are remodeling each unit. Each unit costs about $20,000 to $30,000 to completely overhaul. And when I say overhaul, I mean like it goes from a C grade property to an A minus. It's very, very nice, and the equity has been great. So on those 10 units, about the value of those properties, a little over $2.8 million in revenue. I'm being pretty conservative there. It's probably more like 2.9, but 2.85 is what I put on here. And then the debt is $1.7 million. So about 1.1 million in equity on the real estate side of things. So let me go ahead and bounce out of this. Remove. There we go. There, we're back. So I hope that was helpful. I kind of showed as much as I possibly can, not just all the businesses, but also the stocks and the real estate side of things. So if you enjoyed that, please hit the like button, because I'm not the type I like to share this stuff, but I also know how much it would have helped me if I would have had this stuff 17, 18 years old, really just wanting to see numbers. Like, I see all these great guys that I would look up to that were mowing lawns, giving me advice, but like, I want to see numbers. I want to see the daily, like how many employees and how many trucks did they buy, and like all the parts of a landscaping business that are always moving. And so I hope that this helps. And I hope that as we go forward with a daily vlog that's going to start this later this week, as uncomfortable as I am with someone following me around the camera, I hope that you're able to pick them up on little things that I don't share, like little, like the tip videos. I want it to be, you can see how we interact in a manager's meeting or a team meeting, or when there's a big disappointment, or I'm trying to correct someone like a franchisee, getting them back on systems, or we're having an issue at command center like we've had in the past few weeks and have to catch up and figure out things and create systems. And so I want you to be able to see that. I hope it helps someone. And if there's 10 people that hate me, but one person that this really helps, I'll keep doing this. And I hope it is inspirational and educational for all of you. So I'm going to go ahead and bounce into the Q&A here and hopefully answer some of these questions. Hopefully this is good for you guys. Clean Green Lawn Care says, scenario, customer has overgrown edge. You tell them the first mow will have X dollars upcharge. They say they don't care about the edging. What does Augusta do about this kind of situation? In this scenario, if someone really doesn't care about edging, we're going to put a job note that says no edging. And no worries, Mr. Jones. We will go ahead and mow your lawn. We will not edge the property. We'll just mow. I know some people don't want to do that because they don't want their name attached to a lawn that doesn't look good. But usually those type of properties that someone who doesn't care about edging is going to be in like a C grade neighborhood anyways, where other people, they're just happy that their lawn is cut. So in my opinion, it hasn't affected like the brand. I don't feel it does. Like if you're in a really nice neighborhood, they're not going to be asking for like no edging. So for us, we would basically say, okay, no worries. Here's your price. We're going to have job notes say no edging, and the cut crew knows they don't have to edge anything. Hey, Mike, haven't caught one of these in a while. Been super busy. Happy Easter. Yeah, I've been trying to do these on the weekend more often, the lives, just because I know so many of us are busy throughout the week working. What position should my employees want to work up to, and what should I expect and require from them at each level of growth or position change? Caesar Abento. So our goal is always that someone doesn't stay in the same position for three or more years. And there's some people that want to, like they enjoy just working. They love being a laborer, they love being outside, and those be there for a long time because they like being part of the team. And that's great. We need workers like that. But on the flip side, in my opinion, like I don't want someone to have to work in the same position for three or more years, whether that be the frontline employees, whether it be a manager, an estimator, a general manager working at the corporate command center side of things, whether they go out and do something new with me, like we're doing with Reset. That is a matter of taking someone who's really qualified, really is high quality, and like I'm going to find a spot for them. And so what I would say, Caesar, is try to build the business and grow the company so you can retain really good people because you have places for them to grow into. There's a big reason why I started Augusta Lawn Care because there was not Augusta Lawn Care. There's a big reason why I started the franchise a couple years ago is because I realized that I had really talented people like Lee and Liz and Lonnie on my team, and that I needed to build the business in order to have a place for them to grow into, because otherwise they were going to get bored and leave. So that's what I would focus on. And that's another reason why you should grow your business, in my opinion, even though I know there's solo operators out there. I agree. You can make good money. You don't have to worry about the headache of employees, all the rest of it. But if you can grow your top line revenue and grow the size of the business, it means that you can take a really, really great person and actually keep them in your organization because you have places for them to grow into. Awesome. You're welcome, Fernando. Great minds. With your landscaping business, did you get a degree or relevant qualifications to run the business and gain trust of your customers. Great minds, no, but we don't really do really sophisticated high-end like hardscaping and or even spraying. So I didn't get certifications like horticulture or anything like that. I feel like a lot of what we do, because we have simple services, can be learned pretty simply on the internet with a little bit of trial and error. What I really focused on was learning the business side of things, marketing, learning how to deal with people, hiring, culture. That side of the business, in my opinion, is what really allows us to scale. And what's great about lawn care landscaping is the low barrier to entry. You don't have to do hardscaping. You don't have to go get your pesticide license to get started. Hugo, when I say legal in terms of our employees over in New York, we want to be able to have a social security number, run them through payroll, pay taxes on them. If they ask for money under the table, it's a big red flag for us. We don't allow it. Whoa, there's a big question. Let me see if I can get through it. Awesome job, Mike. Last week, I got 7 new customers for mowing, raised prices for 90% of my clients. I'm booked right now for a week with jobs, working solo. Next year, I want to hire first guy because I will grow more for sure. But my question is, how can I plan to grow even faster? Average price for mow in my area is $35. So I estimate lawns for $32 and my ratio got better. Trying to build good routes. I have a website. What would you recommend? I was thinking about next spring to put $5,000 into marketing. I think your question probably continues on, but I got cut off. So yeah, so if you're wanting to grow, go get another employee. Like you said, you're booked out 1 week. When you're booked out 2 weeks, that's when I would go and try to get your hire. Watch my last video. I show exactly how we grow in terms of when to hire next employee. I'd go from 1 week to try to get to 2 to 3 weeks booked out, and then go hire an employee, give them a start date 2 to 3 weeks from now, and then you have a couple weeks to actually fill the schedule while they're giving their 2 weeks notice. Funny you mentioned having to raise your base price in Long Island to get good people who are legal. This is why a few weeks ago I asked how you compete with companies using illegal labor. Yep. It's a lot. Everyone uses, not everyone, Hugo. You're right though. I get it. Like there is a lot of that happening. Definitely a big help. Biden just loaded up all my workers down here in Texas. It is tough. Like I made that post on Instagram the other day too. Like it's tough to compete against the government when they have stimulus and unemployment checks if you're not offering enough. And this is the bottom line too. Like in my opinion, it's a disservice to the employees because it's a mindset. I believe there's like some people hate me for saying this, but like I think there's a real mental issue, a mental problem that happens with a human being when they're getting money for doing absolutely nothing. And there's potential to go get a job. I feel like there's fundamentally something wrong, whether it be depression, whether it be just not having self-worth, not feeling accomplished, not feeling part of a team, not feeling like you're driving towards anything. I think the effects of this is very, very damaging. If I was an employee and I could make $15 an hour working or $14 an hour staying home, or even 16, if I could make 16, like a couple dollars more per hour staying home, I'd probably still go work because I truly believe working is, and like being part of something and being a part of a team where you go every single day is fundamentally healthy for your brain. I have no scientific whatsoever to back that up. Okay, let's see here. I'm so hyped for the daily vlog. Let's go. Yeah, I'll explain why I'm doing a little bit more on the first vlog coming up this week. Hey, so I'm on yearly contracts in Florida on P4P. Will I lose money during the summer but regain it over the winter when we are bi-weekly with the labor? So please watch the videos inside the course. I talk about this. If you're doing set scheduled billing throughout the whole year, like $300 every single month for the whole year, but your labor goes up and down, like you have more work to do on the property in the summer and less in the winter, you need to make sure that every single service and every single visit has the appropriate amount of budgeted hours, because you might spend 4 hours per visit in the middle of the growing season and 20 minutes in the middle of the winter. You do not want to be paying your employees the same amount for both visits. You're going to lose a lot of money and you're going to get really unhappy employees in the middle of the growing season. You do not want that. You need to make sure that every visit has appropriate budgeted hours. Mike, do you see the industry going to robotic mowers over the next few years due to labor shortages around coronavirus? Eric, watch my video I made a couple weeks ago. Just type in robot mowers, Mike Andes. I talk a whole lot about this. I do feel like it's going to get there. The cost of that equipment needs to go down, in my opinion. And I feel like it's going to be brought on us by a player like Amazon, Lowe's, Home Depot. Someone that wants the data of the customer is going to actually drive that technology for the fastest because they have the money and the client base to actually make it happen. Next year, I want to put $5,000 into marketing. I was thinking mostly about Facebook ads. What's your input? Yeah, there's a whole bunch of, every single market is different. I would do a blended approach if I was you. I would take 2,000 of that and do it across every door direct mail, Facebook, Google, Nextdoor, YouTube, whatever. Do a blended approach, and then based on that $2,000, spend your next $3,000. And before you do any of that, I would be knocking on doors, door hangers, and building a great website. Let's see here. Matt, I have a landscape business for 13 years and have tried to increase wages $3 per hour this year. Yeah, 100%. If you're increasing wages by $3 per hour, you definitely have to raise your prices as well. Please go watch the video I made about inflation. I forget the title. It's something like, this is like the secret killer of your profits in your lawn care business. But like, as we get inflation in prices and labor costs, we are going to have to raise our prices. But I agree, there are people, and we had to do it in our market over New York, raise the base pay just to find good employees. And I truly believe that raising your hourly rate by $2 or $3 will literally put you in a different bracket and a different level of quality candidates. Like going from $15 an hour to $18 an hour and $18 an hour to $20 an hour, you get like magnitudes of different levels of quality of the candidates, because you're no longer like competing with other lawn care guys. You're now competing with like construction, or like maybe, lower level, like entry level electrician or something like that, right? And so I truly believe that by raising a couple dollars per hour, you're going to get better candidates. And by doing so, you could potentially charge a higher price to the customer. So, hey, Mike, I own a pet waste removal business, and daily I have people asking if I can mow their yard. I don't want to get into mowing, but I would like the extra money. Could I bring people jobs for dollars? Yeah, I'd partner up with a lawn care guy, and they would trade business with you, something like that. Or potentially you start one truck and see how it goes. You start with a little trailerless setup and see what works. If you start mowing lawns, you might find that mowing is actually more profitable than picking up dog poop. Supremo, hey Mike, I'm 3 years in my lawn care business. I expect $8,000 to $10,000 per month this year, just in lawn care, working solo. What do you suggest I do next? I think you're my hero. Yeah, thank you. So, doing $8,000 to $10,000 in revenue per month is really good. I think as a solo operator, you really can do 10 to 12,000, depending on your market. But if you're at 10, I would say that you're probably pretty busy in terms of that number being your revenue, and you're probably ready to go hire somebody. I would stash money aside to be able to do some marketing, which is going to allow you to have more leads, which is going to allow you to go hire somebody. So if you don't want to go to the advertising side, make sure you have a website. Start nailing down professionalism right now, and then start focusing on advertising. Once you have a website, your trucks look good, you got business cards and uniforms, like nail that part down. Is accepting credit cards a good idea? Yes, I do believe it is. What do you think about advertising with a huge billboard? I believe my business may not support the influx of business, but what would you do? It comes down to the dollars, right? Like if it's going to cost me, there's billboards we have locally, and they're like, yeah, it's going to cost you $1,200 per month. And in my mind, I'm like, my rent on a busy highway is $1,000, and I have a sign there, and I don't pay any extra for that sign to be there, and my rent is less than what you're paying me for just the billboard, let alone creating the sign itself, which might cost a couple $1,000s. So it all comes down. I am not romantic about what avenue I'm going to advertise and get customers. All I care about is customer acquisition costs. Is it going to cost me $300 to get a customer doing X versus is it going to cost me $100 to get Y customer? That's all I care about. I'm going to go with Y, assuming that the clients are created equal. And again, that's not always the case, because one type of marketing channel might attract different types of clients. However, in general, it comes out of dollars and cents. If I'm able to get a better customer acquisition cost, I'm going to double down on that, and I'm going to avoid the things that are costing a lot more. In my opinion, usually billboards cost a lot more. What really works well, in my opinion, though, is trying to find a business that has a signage for you to put your sign on. Like they already have like the frame or whatever. And you say, hey, I will mow your front area and make it look good. And maybe usually would cost, like, charge them $30 a week or whatever. You're going to do that for free. So it's going to cost you $120 per month, technically, but you're going to get free signage. Your signage is going to be there. I like that idea against, busy roads and things like that. Also, I'm glad to have an event here. I do not have an event. Happy. Oh, I see what you're saying. Got it. Okay. Yeah, I am going to be flying. We're going to be flying out and doing a kind of a cool travel vlog, meeting some of the franchisees and some other locations in April. So, well, I guess we're in April already. A couple more weeks. We're going to be doing that. That's actually where the suit is from. Josh got married and moved to Kentucky. And so I'm going to Kentucky to stand in his wedding for him. But on the way, we're going to do some traveling to some landscapers. So we'll get some good video for you guys. Awesome. Good job. Still have, yes, 100%. Yep. You raise your prices, got still 97% customer retention. That's great. Fantastic. Hi, Mike. How do I get a business license for my lawn care business, or what license do you recommend? Start with a business license, unless you're going to be getting into services that you have to get special licenses for, like fertilization or, hardscaping, or maybe you want your contractor's license so you can get bonded, things like that. Definitely, that's an option as well. So I'm going to go ahead and close it off there, but thank you so much, everyone, for watching. If you enjoyed this kind of breakdown, me showing the numbers on the Excel spreadsheet, and you appreciate that, please give me a like. I would really appreciate if you can share this with somebody. If it was inspirational, please comment below what was kind of helpful, so I can kind of modify these monthly kind of number updates for you guys and make sure you're getting the most value. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.